Do you ever find yourself telling people that you're bad with names and you have a terrible memory, so you have to ask them again, what was your name? I'm sorry, it's just I'm so bad with names. I think a lot of us have been there. It's a default statement because we don't want to sound rude. You don't want to sound like, oh, I don't remember you. You're not special. So we like to revert to something that removes us of fault and frees us from really responsibility of having to take action. We like to do this as humans. All of us do. I'm calling out everybody here, myself included. I think statements like, I'm really bad with names, it enables us to continue a certain behavior or a certain way of being. I think everybody is bad with names. If you really think about it, names are hard to remember, especially if you don't have the little tips and tricks. I've learned the first letter association, like you meet Sarah and she was kind of sassy, so it's like Sassy Sarah, that's how I'll remember her name. Or Cindy with the curly hair. There are all kinds of tricks that you can use to help you remember names better, and they're wonderful. Another one that I find very helpful is repeating the name. So if they say, oh, my name is Steven. Oh, hi, nice to meet you, Steven. Oh, Steven, what was that thing you said? It keeps repeating their name in conversation. People also love hearing their name, so it's just a nice gesture, I think. And it helps you remember. So even if it's just a quick meeting and you know you're going to meet this person again, you want to remember their name, Steven, 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 Steven. Just keep saying it to yourself. Repetition, that's how we learn. Which is why I always say it. This is why I repeat myself a lot. That is how we learn. The reason I bring this up and why I talk about this particular statement is because I think it's so common. Most of us have probably said that at some point to excuse ourselves from, not remembering someone's name. Because it's awkward, right? Like, oh, this is the fourth time I've seen this person. I still don't remember their name. I think we've all been there. I believe sometimes in life we have to trick ourselves into certain ways of thinking. We have to fool ourselves into believing things, like smile in the mirror if you are having a bad day, right? It can help trigger some happy feelings, and it kind of fools you into thinking that you feel good, you're happy, because it tricks your brain. And I think when it comes to I'm really bad with names, I think that's another one. I think we have to stop using phrases like that, or stop using phrases that we don't want it to be true. And I think the truth is that a lot of people use phrases because they want to convince themselves that that is the case. If you really pay attention to people, a lot of them are saying the things they want to be true about themselves. They aren't really aligned with their actions. You meet people who are, but it's almost rare, and it's admirable because most people aren't like that. Most people are full of BS. They like to talk about themselves in a high regard, and I do this and I work out and I do all this stuff. And when you really start paying attention, what a lot of people are doing is just selling themselves, trying to sell you a story that's believable and tell you things that are true about themselves that they'd like to be true. But why do I bring up saying, oh, I'm bad with names? Well, remembering people's names is important. It's an important skill. I think it's polite, at least. Maybe not important for your survival, but it's a polite thing to do, to remember someone's name. And the more you convince yourself, oh, I'm just bad with names, you start believing it. They usually say with little kids, if they act shy, and the parents always go, oh, don't worry about him, he's just shy to begin with. Kids hear that and they start believing it, and they'll start behaving more and more shy, even though the first one time they acted that way and the parents started picking up on it, they may have just been in a new situation, they were uncomfortable, and everybody is shy from time to time. But if you keep reinforcing the message that that's who they are, that's what they're going to believe. So be careful with the words that you use, because they will become your reality, right? They become who you are. If you speak of yourself negatively, you're not going to have a positive outcome. So stop saying I'm bad with names. I am including myself in this. I do this all the time, and I'm trying to become aware of it and not say it because I don't want it to be true. I want to be good at remembering names. And I want to tell myself, no, Nikki, you're good at this. You know all the tips and the little tricks and the things to do. And I caught myself earlier today, and the reason I brought this up, because I remembered thinking, oh, I'm so bad at improv. And there's a lot of people who are very natural. They can go with, you know, a new situation, something pops up, and they can quickly, you know, think of an answer. It's very natural, and they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? They have like this charm to them, right? Some people just have it, right? They have that ability naturally. But as much as it can come naturally to people, it's still a skill. It's still something you have to work on and become comfortable with within yourself. Because improv really goes hand in hand with trusting yourself. And that's a hard thing for people. If you feel that you're not very confident, you think people are going to think you're stupid if you say this or that. And practicing improv can be quite useful, I think. Learning to be comfortable with yourself and what you're saying and believing that your words have value. And that is why I bring this up. I think it is so important to always be working on yourself, which is kind of why I made a whole podcast dedicated to that particular idea. I think we are in a world, or we have been given an opportunity to live in this world and to create and to improve everything, right? Improvement goes for everything. It means self-improvement, improving the world, helping others. And I think we should always treat ourselves like a project that we're always working on. I think that leads to ultimate happiness is productivity. You have to be productive. You have to work on something. Happiness doesn't just happen. It is a result of action, of doing, of completing things, hitting your goals, moving forward. I want to talk about YouTube for a minute. Not just specifically YouTube, but any social media platform, which has allowed people, anyone, to connect online with little to no knowledge, experience, or degrees in anything or any particular skill sets to go online and post content. And you don't have to have any skill in anything. But chances are the better you are and the more you work on it, the more interesting you're going to be to watch. The more people are going to want to tune in. I think about a lot of these YouTubers that I used to follow when I was younger, when I was a teenager. And I look at their progression, and it's just typical vloggers, mommy vloggers and family vloggers, that kind of stuff. That's all the stuff I used to be into. No longer. I made an episode on this, why I don't support those channels anymore. But I used to consume it, and I watch their progression over time, and I think there's no improvement. They didn't work on anything. Sometimes I catch them being aware of like, oh, I gotta stop saying like. Like I start every sentence with like, and like. And then they'll be like, oh, I gotta work on that. And then they never do. And I'm like, man, it's my pet peeve. I have a pet peeve with filler words. Like, literally, like it's crazy. I just think it takes away from what you're saying. And I don't think you're probably saying much of value. Whoa, hot take here. It's my channel. I'm allowed to say what I want. I just don't think you have much of value to say if you're just filling in with unnecessary words. And when I sit down to watch one of those videos and they spend the first 3 to 5 minutes talking about, yeah, so like I don't want to make this like super long, this like intro, but like I have like so much going on, you guys, like it's so crazy. And they go on like that for like 10 minutes and you're like, get to the point. If you have a specific career, or you have actually not even specific career, any career, you have to learn how to speak. I can't think of many careers or jobs or life opportunities, whatever, just existing, where you're not going to speak to people. You have to learn how to speak properly. Most people don't. You pay attention. And now if you pay attention to it, it's going to drive you crazy. Like I said, it's my pet peeve. Yeah, like I just tune out. I can't listen. You can't keep my attention if it's and we all say I say you're going to catch me saying It's a nervous tick. I think it's habit. I think a lot of people use it because they're nervous, they're uncomfortable. What am I supposed to say? Let me think. And they get all tense and uncomfortable. A tip I have, actually, I'm going to give you a tip on this. Just pause. You catch me a lot if you watch my content. I pause a lot because I pause to think. And you actually regain people's focus and interest by pausing. It doesn't do anything. It's just annoying. Pause, think, speak. There's my little trick on avoiding ums, but we're all gonna do it. We're all gonna do it, myself included. I don't really like calling people out or being negative, so that's why I kind of don't feel super comfortable with pointing out flaws in people or my pet peeves and all that, because it's just like, that's not who I want to be. That's not what I want to do. But then I'm like, on the other hand, it helps people. It helps people become aware of what they're doing and how it can be improved. I think that's important in life, to help people, make them aware of things. It's not to critique. I'm not like, well, I mean, it is critique, but I mean, it's not like I'm trying to belittle someone or make them look bad or you're stupid or you're bad at this. We've all had to improve. Actually, if you think about language and skill, like the skill of speaking in general, it's something you have to develop over time. It's something you have to get comfortable doing. The only way you can do that is by doing it. You have to get comfortable with just starting, with just doing. And that's what I want to get to today. Just start. Whatever it is that you're thinking about. Don't wait until all the stars are aligned, until everything is set up properly and you have the money and you have everything. And that's never going to happen. And we don't have enough time for that, unfortunately. If we're lucky, we're given 80 years on this planet. 20 of those you're going to spend just growing up and being a kid, and then you're going to be old and probably just sit around all day. I don't know. Use the time that you have now. That's all you get. I also want to say, be open to critique, especially if it's constructive. I always say this. I feel like I say this in every single video. Please let me know. What do you think? What do you agree? Do you disagree? I say that because I'm interested in what people think. I'm not a person who sits here on some throne with all the wisdom in the world and let me bestow it upon all of you. I don't know anything. I'm just like anybody else. I'm just curious. I'm just willing to learn. I have an open sense of viewing the world, I guess, and taking in information. I'm very, very curious. I think that's how I've been able to acquire all the different, skills that I have and knowledge, is because I'm just very curious and I want to learn. I always want to learn, and we can learn from each other. That is why I say that. Be open to that if that's what you want. Otherwise, you become a cranky old person who no one wants to talk to. Be open to critique, and filter out hate and critique. And you can do that by seeing who it's coming from. If it's someone who doesn't care about you and they don't wish to do you well and they just want to see you self-sabotage, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, okay, thanks. What am I supposed to do with that? But if someone actually says, hey, it would be really good if you did this, or hey, I actually don't agree with you here, there's a way to do things that is constructive. I hate the dislike button on here. I hate that that's an option. I hate that people can just hit a button and say, I don't like this. Because I feel like I'm like a teacher. I'm like, what? tell me, what is it? You know, when your teacher's always like, well, the book was good? No, tell me why it was good. That's me. I'm like, no, I want to know what was good, what was bad, what didn't you like? Because if you just say I didn't like this, it's dumb. Okay, well, I don't know what to do with that information. I can't build on that. I can't work with that. I need someone to say, hey, I didn't like this because, or this was bad specifically. So I think the like and dislike button is kind of useless. You gotta say what it is. I see it a lot online with these influencers and people who get to a certain level where they will just delete all the negative comments and all the negativity they don't want to see, and they create almost like a false sense of reality where they only leave the positive and the people saying, oh, you're amazing, you're the best, you can do no wrong, you're perfect, I worship you. It almost is that extreme. I know I'm exaggerating here, but some fans get to the point where they are crazy obsessed, and it fuels their ego. It gives them this phony sense of reality that they're on top of the world, they're the best, they can do no wrong. So when anyone tries to hate on them, it's you're just a hater. Even if it's just a piece of advice or, hey, it would be better if you did this, oh, you're just a hater. And social media has given people the opportunity to do whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your content is good. It doesn't matter if you're improving in any way. You can just keep doing it. Unless you do something that crosses a line, you know, that you get kicked off the platform or something. Of course, that can happen. But it's so different from like film and the entertainment industry. I work in the entertainment industry. I'm an actor, and the amount of content that gets scrapped is crazy. Even in music, majority of music will never be heard that is created. Most songs and albums get scrapped. You hear a tiny percentage of what actually gets put out. Same with movies. Most scripts, trash. And you have to go pitch it. Someone's got to do your movie for you. Netflix says no, they're not going to do it. And then you get another no. The movie doesn't get made. So you have to be really good. That's why movies and TV shows and all this stuff, they're well made. Attention to detail, the quality. They go through a rigorous process of hiring the right actors. But online, you don't have to do any of that. You can do your own thing. It doesn't even have to be that good. And I'm not really even saying anything with that. I'm just stating that as a fact. Fact open for interpretation. I'm not saying it's good or bad, or I'm not adding any type of opinion to it. I'm just saying it just is. That's what it is. I guess if I would say anything, it's unfortunate because there's so many people posting online who have the opportunity to be great. I think actually, take that back. Everybody has the opportunity to be great to some capacity, in some way, at something. But most people don't push themselves. They don't challenge themselves. They don't do the work that it takes. But the first step is starting, and that is, I can't urge it enough. Just start. Whatever it is, your ideas, whatever it is you're considering, just do it. Just give it a shot and learn as you go along. And don't be afraid of being bad. What you should be afraid of is staying in the same place as you have been. If you look at your life a year from today and you're not currently happy with your life, be afraid of being in the same place a year from today. That's what you should fear. Don't fear failure. Don't fear that, oh, I'm never going to be able to succeed in what I'm going to do. No, fear being in the exact same place and not having even attempted something new or attempted whatever it is that you want to go for. Going back to my original point, stop telling yourself you're bad with names. Stop telling yourself you're bad at things. I can't do this, or I'm not good at improv. Just start fooling yourself. One of the greatest things when I first moved to Hollywood that I heard was fake it till you make it. And it's not about skill. It's not about saying, oh yeah, I can play the violin or I can play guitar. And then you've never picked up an instrument in your life. That's not what fake it till you make it is. It's about your attitude. It's about your energy. You're faking it, that you have it together and you got this, you can do it, even though on the inside you're freaking out and you don't know if you can do it. I feel like my camera shuts off so much. It's quite irritating, but I'm also wondering if it's a sign to wrap things up. And I do want to wrap things up. I have a final thought that I wrote down in my notes that I want to share. That's a little bit unrelated, but I want to talk about how frustrating it can be sometimes in life when it feels like you work really hard, you're trying your best, and people are critiquing you and they're giving you a hard time about something and they're trying to tell you how to do something better, and you're frustrated because you feel overwhelmed. And I'm trying to be a good mom and a good worker and a good wife and a good this and a good that, and you're trying so hard and you're tired and overwhelmed and stressed, and it's frustrating. What I've learned is to turn that frustration around. There's so much slamming doors going on. I don't know. It never really gets picked up on the mic, so I'm hoping it doesn't, but it is wildly distracting for me. Don't feel frustrated when people are critiquing you, who care about you, who have good intentions for you. They simply want what's best for you, and they see potential in you. That is why they critique you. Don't see it as something negative and, oh, I'm not doing enough, I'm the worst. No, they actually care. Be wary when people stop saying stuff, when they stop telling you how you can improve and change, because that's when people give up. And that's how I am too with friends. I tell my friends, we have hard conversations sometimes. I might call you and say some things that you might not want to hear. I've said this since I was a teenager. I'm not the friend you call when you just want to hear all the lovely things. Oh my God, you're amazing. You're the best. Oh no, I'm honest. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. But by being honest, when I do compliment you and I say something kind, you know it's from the heart. You know that I'm being 100% honest, and it's 100% coming from my heart. So even when it's frustrating that you're hearing this critique and here's what you can do and you should really work on this, and you're like, oh, I'm doing the best I can. You're frustrated, right? But they see potential in you. They care. And they want you to improve. They're rooting for you. But again, learn to differentiate between that and just hate. Because there are people who just want to sabotage you, who don't care about you, who are unhappy with their own life. They're projecting that on you, saying, oh, well, you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't know. It's like, okay, just throw that away, because you can't do anything with it. Or throw them away, rather. Just get rid of those people. You don't need those people in your life. No room for that. Only room for improvement and positivity and people who are rooting for you and want what's best for you. Yeah, that's all I had to say today. I hope you got something out of today's topic. I wanted to mention, I'm open to doing kind of like, what are they called? Not reviews. When you watch someone else's commentary kind of thing. I'm really open to doing that. Again, I'm not super into the like gossip and negative and talking trash about people. That's not something you're going to get from me. But if there's something you in particular have seen that you'd like me to discuss, talk about, comment on it, a video, a podcast episode, anything, or a specific person, let me know. I'm very open to doing that. And any other content you would like to see from me. I always appreciate when people give suggestions and ask questions about things they would like to see. And that's all for today. I hope you are taking great care of yourself, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.